Remember 2013? $8 a month. One app. Every show you wanted. No ads, no bundles, no passwords being policed like you're committing a federal crime. Netflix promised us the future. Cut the cord, they said. Save money, they said. Watch what you want, when you want, without commercials interrupting every 7 minutes. It was beautiful. It was freedom. And for a brief, shining moment, we actually believed them. Fast forward to today. You're paying for Netflix, and Disney Plus, and Hulu, and Max, and Paramount Plus, and Peacock, and Apple TV Plus, and Amazon Prime. Your monthly bill? Over $100. You're watching ads again. Shows are being deleted for tax write-offs. Movies you paid to own? Gone? Password sharing with your parents? That'll be an extra $8, please. Welcome to Cable TV 2.0. Except this time, it's worse. Because at least with cable, you only had one bill, one remote, one company to hate. Now, you've got 7 apps, 7 passwords, 7 billing cycles, and somehow less content than you had a decade ago. The streaming revolution didn't kill cable. It became cable, and we all paid premium prices to watch it happen. This is the story of the greatest bait and switch in entertainment history. How an industry convinced the world they were the solution, then slowly, methodically, became the problem. How Silicon Valley innovation turned into corporate greed, and how we're all sitting here in the wreckage wondering how we got scammed so perfectly. This is the media fallout, and this is the story of how streaming died. We are documenting the collapse of the entertainment industry in real time. If you want to see the truth behind the numbers, the financial bloodbaths hidden behind press releases, and the corporate strategies designed to extract every last dollar from your wallet, you're in the right place. Welcome to the channel. Part 1. The Fragmentation. Here's the beautiful irony of how streaming died. Hollywood killed it, with their own greed. Netflix started streaming as a DVD rental add-on. Nobody cared. But Reed Hastings saw the future and made a move that would haunt every studio executive for the next decade. He bought their content. For pennies. Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, Universal. They all laughed while cashing Netflix's checks. They thought Netflix was a joke, a DVD company playing tech startup. So they sold everything. Friends, The Office, Breaking Bad. Entire libraries, dirt cheap. And Netflix exploded. 30 million subscribers, then 50, then 100, all paying $8 a month for more content than cable ever offered. Then Netflix did something terrifying. They stopped renting. They started creating. House of Cards, Stranger Things. Orange is the New Black. Originals that became cultural events. And Wall Street lost its mind. Netflix's market cap shot past the studios that fed it. That's when Hollywood woke up. That's when the panic set in. They realized they'd been funding their own assassin, selling their most valuable assets to a competitor. And now that competitor was worth more than all of them combined. So every studio had the same thought. If Netflix can do this with our content, why can't we? Disney pulls everything from Netflix. Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar. Decades of content. Gone. They launch Disney Plus and immediately start building their walled garden. Warner Brothers panics. They launch HBO Max. They pay $100 million to rip Friends away from Netflix. Their most watched show. Gone. NBC Universal scrambles to create Peacock. They take The Office. Another massive hit. Another app. Another subscription. Paramount. Apple. Amazon. Everyone wants their own streaming empire. Every studio that ever made content decides they deserve Netflix's money. The consumer dream becomes a nightmare. We wanted convenience. One app, one price, one place for everything. Instead, we got chaos. You want Stranger Things? Netflix, The Mandalorian, Disney Plus, Succession, Max, Yellowstone, Paramount, The Boys, Prime. 7 apps. 7 bills, 7 passwords, 7 different interfaces that all suck in unique ways. This is fragmentation, and it's proof the streaming model was never about serving you. It was about trapping you, locking you into ecosystems, bleeding you dry. But here's the problem. Fragmentation only works if the math works. And the math never worked. Part 2. The financial bloodbath. Every studio thought they could copy Netflix and print money. They were spectacularly wrong. Because while they were busy launching Netflix clones, they forgot something critical. Netflix spent 15 years and tens of billions of dollars learning how to run a streaming service. The infrastructure, the algorithms, the content machine. None of it was easy. None of it was cheap. The studios thought they could just flip a switch. They couldn't. Disney Plus launched in 2019. Wall Street celebrated. 10 million subscribers on day one, 50 million in 5 months. Analysts called it the Netflix killer. But behind the celebration, Disney was hemorrhaging cash. Not losing money, burning it. They were spending billions on content, technology, and marketing while charging $7 a month, the cheapest service on the market. Why? Because they were playing the long game. Lose money now, dominate later. It's the Jeff Bezos playbook. It works when you have infinite money and infinite patience. Disney had neither. By 2022, Disney Plus was bleeding over $1 billion every quarter. $4 billion a year, pouring out of Disney's accounts like water through a sieve. Bob Chapek promised investors profitability by 2024. He was fired before he could find out if he lied. Bob Iger came back. The man who built Disney into an empire had to return and perform triage on his own creation. His solution? Slash and burn, raise prices, cut content, bring back ads, fire thousands. That $7 ad-free Disney Plus? Now $14. They doubled the price in 5 years. That's not strategy. That's financial suicide in slow motion. Warner Brothers Discovery. Even worse. When AT&T gave up on streaming and merged Warner Media with Discovery, the new company inherited a money furnace called HBO Max. Their solution? Delete content. Dozens of shows and movies erased from existence. Why? Tax write-offs. It's cheaper to delete a $90 million movie and take a tax deduction than to keep paying residuals. Batgirl. A finished film, deleted, never released, erased for accounting purposes. This is what panic looks like. When you realize the model was never sustainable, that streaming was built on the fantasy of infinite growth, that subscriber counts can't go up forever. Netflix hit 200 million and stalled. Disney hit 100 million and started losing them. Every service hit a ceiling. Because the market isn't infinite, there are only so many people willing to pay for 7 streaming apps. When growth stops, there's only one way to increase revenue. Squeeze the customers you already have. Which brings us to the betrayal. Part 3. The anti-consumer turn. The moment streaming services stopped pretending to care about you. It started with price hikes. $1 here, $2 there. Annoying, but tolerable. Then came the thing we swore would never happen. Ads. Netflix spent a decade promising they'd never have ads. Ads were the enemy. The reason we cut the cord. The thing that made cable unbearable. Netflix was supposed to be different. Pure. Premium. Then in 2022, they launched an ad-supported tier. They called it a choice, a budget-friendly option. But we all knew what it really was. The beginning of the end. Because once ads are in the system, they metastasize. Now almost every service has ads. You're paying $15 a month to watch commercials. The exact nightmare we were trying to escape. But ads weren't even the worst betrayal. The worst was the password crackdown. For years, streaming services ignored password sharing. They knew millions of people were doing it. Parents sharing with kids, friends sharing with friends, roommates who moved out but kept the login. It was part of the value. Part of what made streaming feel generous. Netflix's own CFO said in 2019 they weren't worried about it. It helped spread the service, got people hooked. Then growth stopped. And suddenly, password sharing became theft. Piracy, a crime. Netflix deployed detection systems. Log in from too many places? Warning. Then a fee. $8 per extra household. The family plan stopped being a family plan unless everyone lived at the same address. Disney copied them. Hulu copied them. Everyone copied them. Because when you can't grow, you squeeze. And it worked. Netflix added millions of paying subscribers. Turns out people were so hooked they'd pay the ransom instead of leaving. This is late-stage capitalism distilled. Start as a revolution. Get people addicted. Then slowly remove every benefit until they're paying more for less and calling it progress. But the ultimate insult? The final proof that streaming became cable? That's happening right now. Part 4. Cable 2.0. The return of the bundle. Remember cable bundles? The thing we all despised? You wanted HBO, but you had to buy the sports package and 20 channels you'd never watch. Wasteful, expensive, insulting. Streaming was supposed to fix that. A la carte pricing. Pay for what you want. Freedom. Except the bundles are back. Disney bundles Disney+, Hulu, and ESPN+. Warner Brothers bundles Max with Discovery+. Paramount bundles with Showtime. And the one that proves we've come full circle? Verizon bundling Netflix and Max. A telecom company bundling streaming services. Sound familiar? It should. Because that's cable. That's Comcast bundling HBO with your internet. The exact thing we spent a decade escaping. We're back where we started. Except worse. Instead of one cable box, 7 apps. Instead of one bill, 7 bills. Instead of one customer service number, 7 useless chatbots. Streaming didn't disrupt cable. It became cable, then made it worse. So where does this end? Because the model is broken. The bubble has burst. Growth is dead. Profitability is a fantasy. And we're all getting tired. 3 possible futures. 1. Consolidation. The weak die. The strong survive. We end up with 3 mega services. Netflix, Disney, maybe Amazon. Everyone else gets absorbed or shut down. Fewer choices, higher prices, oligopoly control. But at least we won't need 15 apps. 2. Collapse. The model fails completely. Streaming becomes supplementary, not primary. Studios go back to licensing. Theaters return. Physical media makes a comeback. We go back to the pre-streaming world with better technology. 3. The cycle continues. Prices rise. Ads spread. Bundles multiply. And we accept it. Because we're too tired to fight. Too dependent to leave. Too deep to escape. We pay the $100+ a month. We watch the ads. We call it entertainment. My money's on option 3. Because the best scams? You know you're being scammed and you pay anyway. The alternative feels worse. You're in too deep. Everyone else is doing it, so it must be normal. That's where we are. We know streaming is a scam. We know we're paying more for less. We know the dream is dead. But we'll keep paying. Because what choice do we have? We cut the cord to escape cable. But the cord just became wireless. The bill stayed the same. The ads came back. And the companies that promised liberation became our captors. This is the great streaming scam. And we all fell for it. Welcome to the fallout. The industry creates the illusion. We expose it. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the next collapse.